What's going on, Paisan? I'm Danny Sess. This is Sess Says MaxEffort. I'm here on episode 6 with the GOAT. GOAT of lunges, GOAT of front squats. It's Billy. Billy, you need no introduction, but let's hear one.
Hell, Billy. He kind of covered it. 44-year-old dad. Ready to rock. Let's get some good stuff.
2 kids, right?
That's correct. Yep, 18 and 15.
Okay, cool. Billy, I know about you, but really just from a lifting standpoint. Where do you live?
Southwest Michigan, town called Niles. Basically, what I tell everybody is 7 miles north of Notre Dame, Indiana, the Golden Dome. Most people know that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm still learning. And then what do you do for work, Billy?
I'm a mortgage advisor for a credit union here locally. So help people purchase homes or refinances. I only do first mortgages only, or investment properties, all that type of good stuff. Okay. So a pretty flexible job, which is, allows me to get on a call like this.
Yeah, no, my Teams actually was going off last one. So I have my status as do not disturb this time. So hopefully we can avoid that. But Billy, you're the best, man. I mean, I think everybody in this community respects the fuck out of you, that every single day you're up grinding, doing the squats. Everyone's like waiting for your videos every day because it's amazing. I front squat like half of what you're doing. So I'm like in awe. I'm like, is this real? But what's like your PR front squat?
Well, 405, I know for sure. I don't remember if I ever hit a 410.
Yeah.
My son's saying I did hit a 410. So 410.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go
with the young mind. They remember better.
Yeah. They're good.
I failed last time when we did it though. That was rough. It didn't, but
yeah,
we had been off that for a while. So, getting back on this new Get Stacked has been kind of nice.
Yeah. I love getting back onto the Get Stacked. I did the pump 30s for a while, but this has been great. I'm really pushing the weights a little bit, respectively, But,
yeah.
You were 3rd place in I Want Abs last year. I'd love to hear you comment on the app the other day that you want to compete again. I think if FanDuel had a odds-on favorite, you'd have to be it going into the next version of it. But what have you been struggling with? Anything with Get Stacked? I mean, you're killing the workouts, it looks like.
Well, first week getting back into it, I mean, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like
sure.
I was like, yeah, I think I even said that to the guys, is like, man, I'm like so much more sore than I remember, but kind of been adapted now. The only thing that I will tell everybody is I have not hit ab work in probably 3 months.
It's okay. This is a good time to not do any ab work.
Well, I've hit a cycle here and there, like I'll throw it in, but like actually doing the ab work, because when we did the December, a few guys hit up or the Squat-tober, sorry, December's coming up.
Yeah.
The guy basically stated in there, he's like, yeah, there's no ab work because you're using your abs through every lift or whatever. And I was like, that's kind of true. If you're breathing properly and everything, your brace, your core is being worked. But if you really want to see them, you got to really do it. Like last year, I mean, to Get Stacked, I hit every rep of abs, probably bonus reps too, because you want those suckers popping.
Yeah, definitely. During the I Want Abs stuff, I would I have 2 little boys at home, and I would have to, my responsibility is like showering them and getting them ready for bed. So I'd have one in the shower and I would put my feet up on the tub and I'd bang out the head, the weighted crunches behind the head, quick 100 while he's in the shower. I felt like that was a good one. It's like, what are you doing in there? I'm like, all right, everything's good.
Yep. You can get them in.
Yeah, you find time to make it, but it's true. It's like when you want something bad enough, you fill in the cracks with the extra work and you make it work for yourself.
Yep, absolutely. Other than that, struggling, the biggest only other struggle is just like the time thing, and I've really been kind of kicking it around, but it's just every time I think I'm going to put my workouts earlier in the day, it's like, no.
Well, that's what I wanted to bring up to you, because I feel like you do lift. I know on the member cast, you mentioned maybe lifting at lunchtime, or maybe you lift after work some days. Can you tell us a little bit about your schedule? Because I feel like that's like one thing that you do a little differently than some of the other like 4 a.m.ers.
Yeah. I mean, so personal wise, I mean, I get up and take my youngest son, he's got to go to school, get a bus that's separate from the public buses. So I drive him in to school at 7 in the morning, and That's where my brain's always like, man, it would be so much smarter if you just went, dropped them off, went to the gym, got it done.
Yeah.
But typically, I'll just tell you, hey, this is honest, right? I go back and I sleep until I got to get to work. So that is a standard like 9 to 5 job, hybrid. So remote office. I have 2 offices I cover that I'll try to make sure I'm visiting every week, if not daily. But I'm usually do the computer email type stuff, get my coffee in the morning, do the email busy work, and then get ready to go in and handle the member stuff at that point.
Yeah.
And then my lifts, I kind of just work into my schedule wherever it fits at that point, which can be bad sometimes. So,
yeah, for sure.
But I find a way to make it work. So there's some nights where it's like, okay, I ate dinner now. Hey, babe, I didn't do my workout. Sorry, I'm going to the gym. She's like, oh, okay.
Well, that's awesome.
Not always that like, oh, okay, go ahead. It's kind of like, well, there's a lot of work to be done first, so that it might be 8 o'clock. And I'm like,
yeah, that's awesome because I think some of the stuff we do is a little crazy. So it's nice to have a wife, a supporting partner that is, okay, I understand, it's not like, oh, you're missing dinner or something like that. You do need that support behind the scenes. My wife, she used to want to eat the same thing, but eventually I'm like, I got to eat sweet potato. I got to eat my ground beef. And now she's like very on board, but I always try to make her, a nice dinner too. So some give and take there.
Yeah, it's pretty lucky. I think I talked about that before too, though. It's like, she's a pretty, she basically does keto. So pretty easy to work my diet off of that.
Right.
And there's a lot of times when I'm in contest, like I said, I mean, it's to the T, but now it's, she loves cheese, sour cream. She likes that pizza, but so she'll make foods that have cheese in it a lot. And I'm just like, she's like, oh, but I need to make some. I said, no, I'm not. I said, I can eat a cheese for a meal this week. Like it's not, so it's, and I've never had issues with it. Like, I know that's the big deal is like the eggs and cheese being the allergy stuff and not, so I know what works for my body. But if it's contests, that stuff's gone.
Yeah, for sure. And you're exactly right. We always talk about being a science experiment. G preaches that from day one. So knowing what, inflames you or what your stomach doesn't appreciate, you have a good gauge on that. So that's important. And I'm with you the same way. The holidays are coming up. It's nice to be a little looser on the reins. And then, once we get into Taiwan abs, we can really tighten up and be strict. I saw you write in the group chat the other day. You're like, I might do 800-meter lunge for the first time in a couple months. Did that happen over the weekend?
It did not happen.
No, okay. Still getting ready.
Kind of like Brian, I guess. He actually did do it, but I got through that 400 and I was like, I gotta get on with my day. And I was just like, kind of like what we were talking about. It's been kind of kicking around in the back of my head. A lot of people are talking about switching up some things and stuff, and I've been thinking about switching off the lunge game. It's hard. It's so hard to do in this community, but I just want to see what it would feel like. So I've thought about doing that and switching to the incline walks and ruts, maybe all the way up to contest and then at contest time, just because 800 meters is the golden ticket for the ripped, chiseled abs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, but see what I look like and how I feel at that, like get my diet kind of a little more locked in. Because I've been way too loose through the holiday season right now too, and then see what that does to the metabolism and if it's viable.
Yeah. What's your longest streak that you've ever had? Any idea?
I did a full year, but not of 800 meters, but a full year straight of streaking, and then I did the 800 meters last year from January. I think I submitted the 14th. I can't remember, but from that point forward, I think I did about, I want to say 80 days worth of 800 meters straight. Yeah. And then I'm on a fake streak now.
Okay. I like a fake streak.
So I have missed a day, but I'm pushing 2 years now. So since the I Want Abs last year, I missed one day when I did the Ultra Spartan race, which mad props to Stevie Hendrickson. I should say Steven. He might be mad if I call him Stevie. I don't know.
He's pretty sure.
I know he still hit his lunges, but man, by the time I got done, got relaxed, got cleaned up, I was pretty much down. I think I ended up getting up for dinner, and I planned on I let my wife talk me out of it. She was like, you basically lunged more than anybody, like 99.5% of the people in the country in that race going uphill and everything. I was like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So that was a day off. And then I missed a day not too long ago. I think I did 200 instead of 400 stationary, because that's my goal. If I'm keeping my streak, I got to do at least 400 stationary.
Billy, if the day you missed of lunges is the day you did a Spartan race, I mean, that's good in my book. I can look the other way on that one.
And I would challenge anybody to do something like that, because it was I think I actually talked about this in the group as well, but it was one of the most rewarding, punishing things I've ever done in my life, because I had no clue what I was getting into, for one, which I blame myself for that, but I almost think it was better that way. Like, I didn't know. I mean, it was a half mile or a half marathon obstacle course race on a ski course. So it was pretty much everything uphill. I even looked at a guy one time. I said, hey, we eventually got to go downhill, right? Like, it just seemed like it was, about 5 hours of no earbuds, nobody else there with me. I mean, you'd have racers here and there, but they have partners, most of them. And I have no Camelback, no water. So I'm getting dehydrated. I brought Ender Hydrate, just came out from MaxEffort. So I had a couple of those in my pocket. The first water thing we went into, they came out because I didn't zip my pockets. So my hydration sticks were gone, no electrolytes. But the amount of things that go through your head. I even say there was at one point my calves, I did an obstacle and I felt my calves starting to cramp on. And I said, I David Goggins that shit.
Yeah.
In my head, I said, nope, you're not doing it. I said, you just keep pushing forward. I said, cramping ain't happening. And it never cramped. I was like, it was pretty cool. But, other things too. I think I mentioned, like, it was actually one of my best cousins till they moved away. His son passed away at 19, which was pretty, that was a pretty shock. He was close to my son, and it hurt bad. And there was a lot of thoughts about that and a lot of healing for myself with that. So, and then at the end, my wife's like, you're about to cry. I said, I think I'm about to just lose it.
Yeah.
But I was so proud of it at the same time.
Yeah. Like, even stories like this, I don't know any of your background, like stories like this is why you are the general of this Get Stacked 125. Like, you everyone looks up to you so much that you work harder than probably everybody here. You lift more than anybody here. And you're just a good guy, you're emotional and you're raw, and I appreciate it. So this is like an amazing person to be in this community.
Yeah. So thanks. The Spartan races are pretty fun. And I think one of the big thing about it is it scratched that competitive itch. Lifting is really cool about that aspect too. Cause I try to tell somebody, I actually had a call with a powerlifting coach. He was trying to, cause we just did Squat-Tober. So he's trying to get me to sign up with him. And I might've done it at a different time, but right now I'm not ready to do that. But, it scratches that competitive itch, because you're competing with yourself, but you still, your own self is your ceiling, how hard you want to push and work. And that's kind of what this has always filled that gap for me. And seeing, like Brian will work out, and he's very similar to me in my strength levels and everything. Like, I'll see him post something, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to beat that by 5 pounds today. I think he mentioned it the other time about that too. He's like, I saw you do it, so I had to try to beat you. And I was like, you son of a gun. So it's nice to get that push, because like I said, it's just, that's what keeps me addicted to it.
Yeah, that's like such a good part of this community. Everyone is so competitive. Like Chase, I think, said the other day, he's like, I want to get really competitive, but we'll push each other. It's not like an evil competition. It's everyone's working together, but trying to push and drive motivation towards each other. That's why I love this. Everybody wants to win, but sometimes helping someone else win is key also. You've helped Darren with some of his squat technique, breathing, his walkout. Eric was thanking you the other day about weights that I think you recommended. Like, this community wants to get better as a whole, and that's the impressive part.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. It's awesome. That's the thing. And I give the shout to Corey for that, because the community as a whole, which was different from anything else, is all supportive and really does care about everybody being their better selves. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Iron sharpens iron, they say. When you joined the Wednesday call, that was pretty cool. It was very different. because for the most part, we really just talk about the weightlifting form, maybe some lunge and learn books, but to hear G talk about some of the financial things was just a different take on everything from this mafia. Do you have any takeaways from that Wednesday? I know you even asked some questions at the end.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 44 years old, so a lot of life has passed me up, but got a lot of life left. And the biggest thing with him is, you're never going to know it all, but just attack it. So you start with phase one. So what's the first question you have? And this was kind of, actually, I think I posted from Jesse Itzler. I think that's how you say his last name, but about how he said, you start with what you want, you find the first question, get it answered, move to the next question. So, bite-sized chunks. Cause like he said, he's like, you don't just jump full in. Cause that's what I was asking. I was like, when you see something, like I get fearful of it. Like, well, that could be like, I don't want to go bankrupt. He's like, well, first step, get your toe in there and see if it's something that feels good, then jump in, so it's like, it's kind of like, so that was a big takeaway of that. And then finding, little areas where you can fine tune and the different buckets, which I've been in financial world my whole life, my whole career. So I knew all that stuff. It's kind of like a mechanic. They always have the worst car.
Yeah.
They don't want to come home and work on their car. So, I mean, I've done some good things financially, but there was so much that I was missing, talking about like the dividend stocks and all that. I have one that I did a long time ago, and I look at the statement every time I get it and I'm like, wow, that's really grown good. But then I don't do any others. Like, why wouldn't I? Like, it's free money basically. So, and then took from that, and right away, my cousin's a financial advisor around here, and we had talked before. So called him up and said, hey, I want my whole family come meet with you, because that stuff wasn't taught to me growing up. And that's, I talked about that. And so teaching that to them at 18 is going to set them up so far ahead of where I was.
Yeah. G said that. He's like, if you take anything from this call, he's like, if you don't know it, teach it to have your kids learn it. They need to know this earlier in life. And I thought that was such a impactful message, because you're right. I'm going to be 38 in May. I don't know a lot about stocks, finances. This is amazing.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. Billy, I wanted to say, this is a very impactful moment that a couple months ago on the app, you were writing about how you were doing your lunges, and you went on your cruise, I think after the 40-day submission. And you're like, I'm reading this. You got food poisoning. You still got up shaking through the night, and you did your lunges like the next day.
I don't know what it was. Yeah. I don't know what it was that hit me that night, but that was not fun.
Yeah. That's the mentality. Like, I can always do this. Like, I'll find a way. And, I was sick at one point, and I was like, I don't think I can do my lunges today. And you were in the back of my head. I was like, if he could do it with food poisoning on a cruise, like, I can find a way to do my lunges today.
Yeah. Well, there was no better atmosphere, because it went around like the boat. So part of it was indoors, and then you'd get outdoors, and it was the railing, and people would be sitting in their beach chairs, just enjoying the sun. And I am looking like an idiot, lunging fast. And they're looking over their shoulder like, what the hell is this guy doing? I got my ear, I'm in my zone. So that's kind of like Evan Gold says to Goldsta. He you find to push that pain down, but you go into that mental state, and you're just in the zone. You don't even know people are around you, to be honest. And
for sure.
But looking out there and seeing the pretty blue skies, the ocean waves, and it's like, wow, yeah, it's kind of like the beach lunge. They just hit different.
Yeah, definitely. Billy, we're starting to run out a little bit of time, but I was hoping you could tag somebody in for next time too.
Well, this is one thing too I wanted to say. The name of the podcast is Seth Says. So we should end with something like that. With that quote you told me before we started recruiting, you should be like, hey, the Seth says that this episode is blah blah blah. Like, hey, be careful of yellow snow or something.
That's what you want this episode to be called?
No. You give you a little Seth Says tip at the end.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
You always live. What'd you say? You live life forward, and what was it?
Yeah, you understand it backwards.
Yeah, live life forward, look life forward, and live it backwards.
Yeah, understand it. Yep.
Understand it backwards. See? Yeah. So I was thinking about the name for a while because it was always we're gonna tag in my man Matt Jasper, and
Okay, cool.
the reason why is one I know Matt, and I was thinking I wanted to get somebody that I didn't know and to learn more about him, but I think Matt's kind of a quiet guy in the chat and everything too, but he's the guy that's got me started on Corey G. So I got to tag the guy that in, make it full circle for me.
Oh, then I can't wait to talk to Mac to thank him for bringing you into the community. You know, you impact so many people, and seriously, like, I think everyone is really, really like, you're a fan favorite here, Billy. So you're the best. Thank you very much for coming on this. Hopefully we can meet at one of these Mafia events soon. And then Matt, get ready. You're up next. Happy Thanksgiving.
That's the number one thing to take from this. If you make it a priority, hit one of those MaxEffort Mafia events, especially like that island one. Like I said, if I could bottle that up and shoot it in my veins every morning, I mean, it was insane. So sorry to keep it down. I told you I was going to make you go a little long.
Yeah, no, I think we're hitting the record for the longest one. I was so sad I missed that one, but hopefully the next one is has some of that social aspect too. I think G was talking about.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, you're up next. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. It's truly, this community is so positive in a world full of negative. So appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Enjoy the time with your family.